Your dog is asleep on the floor, and you say its name. Soft, not a command, not dinner, just its name. It lifts its head and looks at you, and your chest goes warm and stupid and total. You love this animal, and late at night you've wondered the thing you never say out loud. Does it actually love you back? Or are you, to your dog, to your cat, just the warm shape that brings the food? So, do animals really know when you love them? Because we can now prove their body loves you back. What we can't prove is whether anyone's home in there to feel it. So let's go find out who's really on the other end of that look. Starting inside the brain, where the feeling would have to live. In 2015, a team led by Takafumi Kikusui at Azabu University in Japan published a study in the journal Science that should have been front-page news and somehow wasn't. They put dogs and their owners together in a quiet room and told them to do nothing special. Just be together, talk to it, stroke it, look at it. And before and after, they measured a hormone in both of them, dog and human, called oxytocin. Oxytocin is the bonding chemical. It is the exact thing your body floods itself with when a mother holds her newborn, when you fall in love, when you hug someone you've missed for months. It is, as close as chemistry gets, the physical feeling of attachment. And here is what they found. When a dog and its owner simply held each other's gaze, the oxytocin in both of them climbed. Not a flicker. In the pairs that shared the longest eye contact, the owners rose by something like 300%, and the dogs by around 130. And the direction ran both ways. You look at your dog, and the love chemical rises in your blood. Your dog looks back, and it rises in its blood too. And that rise makes it hold your gaze a little longer, which lifts it again in you, which makes you softer, which pulls the dog in closer. It is a loop, a closed circle of the same chemical, running back and forth between two completely different species, feeding itself and growing. The identical loop that binds a human mother to her child. And then they did the part that quietly breaks your heart. They ran the whole thing again, with wolves. Not wild wolves. Wolves raised by people. From tiny puppies, bottle-fed, socialized, gentle, as tame as a wolf can be. And the loop did not happen. The wolves wouldn't settle into that long, soft gaze. And the chemistry stayed flat. That warm feedback of eyes and oxytocin is not some general animal thing. It is not even a close cousin thing. It is a dog thing. Somewhere across the tens of thousands of years we spent turning wolves into dogs, we did not just breed them to be friendly or useful or obedient. We rewired them to fall into a chemical loop with us, using the same ancient hardware evolution built for parents and their infants. So when your dog stares up at you with those ridiculous soft eyes and you feel a little silly for how much it moves you, understand what is actually happening. It is not begging, it is doing the one thing tens of thousands of years rebuilt its entire species to do, bonding to you chemically in a language far older than any word either of you will ever have. But a hormone in the blood is one thing. What about the brain itself? In 2014, a neuroscientist named Gregory Berns did something almost everyone told him was impossible. He trained dogs to climb into an MRI scanner and hold completely still, wide awake, no drugs, no restraints, so he could watch their brains work in real time. Just dogs choosing to lie there, so that for the first time we could actually look inside a living, conscious dog's mind. And in one experiment, he collected scents on cotton swabs. The dog's own smell. A dog it lived with, a dog it had never met, a human stranger, and the smell of its owner. Then, one at a time, he passed each scent under the dog's nose inside the scanner and watched what lit up. And one scent, and only one, set off a region called the caudate nucleus. The caudate is the reward center. It is the part of the brain that fires when something wonderful is about to happen, the flare you feel when the person you love walks through the door. In dog after dog after dog, the part of the brain that means good things are coming lit up brightest for the smell of their human. Not the other dog, not even food, you. And here is the detail that should stop you where you stand. The owner was not in the room. It was just their scent sitting on a swab. The faint molecular trace of you, floating in the air of an empty machine, was enough to switch on the happiest circuit in your dog's brain. So think about the moment you come home. Before your dog sees you, before it hears your voice, it has already smelled you coming down the hall, and the reward center of its brain is already glowing, already bracing for joy. That explosion of spinning and crying and total collapse when you walk in the door is not manners, and it is not hunger. It is a brain that has been quietly lighting up for you since before you even reached the building. You are, in the most literal chemical sense, its favorite thing that exists. And Berns kept going. In a later study, his team set up a choice right there in the scanner and mapped it live. Praise from the owner or food. And for most of the dogs, the reward center lit up just as brightly for a few warm words from their person as it did for a treat. For some of them, the praise actually won. We spent years quietly assuming a dog only sticks sticks around for the food bowl. The brain scan says that for a lot of them, hearing you say "good boy" in the exact voice you keep only for them is worth about as much as dinner, and it runs deeper than wiring. It runs all the way down into the muscle. In 2019, an anatomist named Julian Kaminski compared the faces of dogs and wolves, one tiny muscle at a time, and found something that sounds made up but isn't. Dogs have a small muscle just above the inner corner of each eye that wolves simply do not have. It is the muscle that lifts the inner eyebrow and makes that huge, soft, faintly worried puppy face. The one that goes straight through your ribs and makes you say "aw" before you have consciously decided anything at all. Wolves can barely make that face. Dogs make it far more and far bigger the instant a human is looking. And here is what that actually means. Across the tens of thousands of years dogs spent evolving right beside us, they did not only change how they behave in order to reach us, they grew a brand new muscle in their face for the apparent single purpose of speaking straight to the soft part of you. That look you cannot say no to was, in the most literal way, engineered to be impossible to say no to. It was built for you. Now maybe you're pushing back. Maybe you're thinking, sure, but that's just association. Smell means owner means food, and walks. It's a trained reflex, not a feeling. Fair. So let's raise the bar as high as it goes, because your dog is not only reacting to you, it is reading you with a precision that is almost uncomfortable. In 2016, a researcher named Attila Andics in Budapest put family dogs back in the scanner, but this time he played them human speech. And he pulled apart two things we usually feel as one: the words themselves and the tone they're wrapped in. He would play a praise word in a flat, dead voice, a meaningless word in a warm, glowing voice, praise in a praising tone, every combination there is. And what he found is almost unfairly human. Dogs process the actual words on the left side of the brain and the tone of your voice on the right side, the very same division you have in your own head. But the reward center, the joy circuit, only truly lit up when both of them lined up. When the good words arrived inside a genuinely warm voice, which means you cannot fake it. Say "good boy" in a bored, distracted, going through the motions tone, and your dog's brain quietly files it away as noise. Say it like you actually mean it, and only then does the reward light come on. Your dog is running a tiny, constant lie detector on your affection, checking whether your words and your heart are actually telling the same story. And a study by Natalia Albuquerque in the journal Biology Letters caught the same thing from the outside. Dogs were shown two human faces, one happy and one angry, while a single human voice played, sounding either happy or angry. And the dogs stared longer at the face that matched the emotion in the voice. They were not reacting to a smile on its own or a sound on its own. They were fusing what they saw and what they heard into one clean read on how the human felt. Your dog is not guessing at your mood from across the room. It is calculating it from your face and your voice at once, the exact way you read the mood of a friend sitting across a table. It knows the difference between the day you had a good day and the day you did not. And it usually knows before you've said a single word. And when it decides that you are hurting, some of them do a thing that is very, very hard to explain away as a reflex. In 2018, a scientist named Emily Sanford ran a study with a name I love. Timmy's in the Well. She sat dog owners behind a clear plastic door, held shut with magnets, weak enough that a determined dog could shove it open if it wanted to badly enough. And she had each owner do one of two things: hum a tune or cry. Real, distressed crying. The dogs whose owners hummed mostly pottered around, curious, relaxed, in no hurry. But the dogs who heard their person actually crying and who pushed through that door to reach them did it almost 4 times faster. Around 23 seconds against roughly 96 for the hummers. They heard you hurting, and they broke the wall to get to you. But the piece of this that will stay with you is the dogs that did not open the door, because they were not the cold ones. They were the ones drowning in it. Their stress readings were the highest in the whole study. They wanted to help so badly and felt your pain so completely that they seized up. Not too little empathy, too much. So the next time your dog climbs into your lap on the worst night of your year and just presses its whole weight into you and refuses to move, understand that this is not a trick it learned for treats. That is a nervous system that was built to catch your sadness, sometimes so hard that it cannot even move. And the catching goes on in ways so small the dog has no idea it's doing them. Yawn, a real yawn, in front of your dog, and watch what happens next. In 2013, a researcher named Teresa Romero found that dogs catch yawns from their owners more often than from strangers, the very same way you catch a yawn from someone you love and not from a stranger's photo on a screen. And crucially, the dog's heart rates stayed calm while they did it, which rules out stress or anxiety. It was pure contagion, the oldest, dumbest, most involuntary little signal of connection there is, quietly leaking straight across the line between two species. Your dog catches your yawns because somewhere far below thought, its body has decided that yours is one of of its own. Now, I know exactly what half of you have been muttering this entire time. That's dogs. Dogs are easy. Dogs are needy. A dog will love a lamppost if it stands still long enough. My cat, on the other hand, clearly regards me as heated furniture with a food dispensing feature. So let's talk about the animal. Everyone is completely certain does not care, because the science on cats is, very quietly, the most surprising science of all. In 2019, Kristen Vitale at Oregon State University ran on cats the identical test psychologists use on human babies. It is called the secure base test. You bring the cat into an unfamiliar room with its owner. The owner leaves for a couple of minutes. Then the owner comes back, and everything hangs on what the animal does at that reunion. A securely attached baby, when its parent returns, settles almost instantly, feels safe again, and then goes back to calmly exploring the strange new world because its anchor is back in the room. And when they ran this on cats, around 65% of them did precisely that, 65%. That is almost the identical rate you find in human infants with their own parents. Your cat statistically is bonded to you about as securely as a small child is bonded to its mother. It is not sitting on the far side of the room because it feels nothing. It may be sitting there precisely because you are its secure base, the fixed and certain point that makes it feel calm enough to look away. And there is a message it has been sending you for years that you have probably been reading as nothing at all. In 2020, a team led by Tasman Humphrey and Karen McComb studied the cat's slow blink. You know the one, your cat looks at you and slowly, lazily, almost sleepily closes its eyes and opens them again. It turns out that when owners deliberately slow blinked at their cats, the cats slow blinked back. And when a complete stranger slow blinked at a cat first, the cat was more likely to get up and walk toward that stranger's outstretched hand. The slow blink is not tiredness, it is a sentence. In cat, it means roughly, I am relaxed with you, I trust you, I am not a threat, and I don't think you are either. It is as close as we can currently measure it, a cat saying a small, quiet version of I love you, using nothing but its eyes. And the best part is, you can answer. The next time your cat catches your eye across the room, look back at it gently and slowly close your eyes, and hold it for a beat and open them. A surprising amount of the time, it will do it right back. You have been in a conversation for years and only just found out. And that famous indifference, the one you have taken personally for the entire time you've owned this creature. In 2019, a researcher named Atsuko Saito proved that cats can pick their own name out of a string of similar sounding words even when a total stranger is the one saying it. Cats know their names. They have always known their names. So when you call your cat and it does not so much as flick an ear, it is not confused, and it did not fail to hear you. It understood you perfectly. It simply received your invitation, considered it, and declined to attend, which is honestly the single most cat thing in the entire universe, and somehow makes the whole situation worse and better at the very same time. And here is the fact that quietly ends the argument. In 2017, researchers gave cats a genuinely free choice between 4 things they might want: food, toys, interesting smells, or a little social time with a person. And for the largest share of the cats, the top choice was not the food, it was the human. Given an open pick between a full bowl and your undivided attention, most cats, it turns out, chose you. They simply maintain a strict lifelong policy of never once letting you catch them doing it. And this sorting of humans, this quiet filing of you under safe or dangerous, loved or feared, is not some soft little quirk of the animals we bred to live in our homes. It runs through creatures that have never spent a single night under our roof. Show a horse one photograph of a person making an angry face, and hours later, when it meets that same person in the flesh, calm and friendly now, it stays wary. It watches them with the left eye, the one wired straight to the brain's threat side, and its heart speeds up. One photo, seen once, remembered, and the reverse is every bit as true. Be gentle with a horse, be soft and steady and kind, and it files that away just as permanently. It remembers exactly who was safe. Crows are almost frightening about it. The biologist John Marsluff had his team wear one particular mask while they trapped some wild crows harmlessly and then let them go. And those crows scolded and dive-bombed that mask on sight, screaming at it for years. 5 whole years. And the young crows, the ones who were never trapped, who had nothing bad happen to them at all, learned to hate the mask too, just by watching their parents rage at it. The grudge spread across the flock, from about 1 bird in 5 up to more than half of them, taught and inherited like a dark family story. A single wild bird you wrong can turn your face into a legend of danger, told to birds that had not even hatched yet. And here's the thing that matters for you and the animal sleeping in your house. The exact same machine that can brand a face an enemy for a generation is the machine that learns just as deeply and just as permanently that a face is safe, that it is gentle, that it is the one who fills the feeder every single morning without ever once forgetting. So step all the way back and look at the whole shape of it at once. Your dog's brain floods with the parent chemical the moment it holds your gaze. Its reward center lights up for your smell in an empty room. It fact-checks your love against the tone of your voice. It will break a door to reach you when you cry, or freeze because reaching you hurts too much. Your cat is bonded to you at the rate a child is bonded to its mother, blinks a slow signal that it trusts you, and has known its own name this entire time while calmly ignoring it. Horses remember your face for hours. Crows remember it for years. Every single one of these animals is running the same quiet program under the surface, watching you, sorting you, learning you, and landing again and again across species that share almost nothing else on the same one-word answer: mine. So think about what your dog's actual day looks like, the one unfolding right now while you are out. It sleeps, it waits, it does not scroll a phone or distract itself or call a friend to pass the hours. It waits by the door. It lifts its head at 100 different cars that are not yours and lets each one go. And then, somehow, out of all the engines in the world, it picks out the specific sound of yours from streets away. And it is up and at the door and vibrating before your key is anywhere near the lock. Its entire day has exactly one shape, and that shape is you leaving and you coming back. You are not one of the things in its life. You are the whole plot of it, and every time that door opens and it is you, some small daily terror it can't name quietly ends. Because separation for a bonded animal is not boredom. Deep in the mammal brain, there is a system that lights up in raw distress when you are torn away from the one you're attached to. Your dog has that system. It is the reason the lonely ones howl and scratch the door and wait in the exact spot you left from, sometimes for hours, sometimes all day, staring at the last place they saw you. There are dogs who lie down against the door and do not move until the handle turns. And the joy when you return, the spinning, the crying, the whole body coming apart is that enormous for one simple reason. The ache while you were gone was every bit as real. You only ever see the arrival. The dog lives the entire wait. And this is exactly where the science runs out of solid ground. And I have to be honest with you about it because you deserve that. Everything I have told you, the oxytocin, the brain scans, the door, the slow blink, all of it measures the body, the behavior, the chemistry. What none of it can do, what nothing anyone has yet invented can do, is climb inside that animal and confirm that it feels love the way you feel love. That there is a warmth in there, an experience, a somebody home behind the eyes. We can prove that your dog's body does every single thing a loving body does. We cannot prove that it feels like anything at all to be your dog. That door is still shut, and it may stay shut forever. But be very, very careful which way you let that uncertainty tip you. Because a neuroscientist named Panksepp spent his whole life mapping the emotional systems buried in the deepest, oldest parts of the mammal brain. And he found that the circuitry for care, for nurturing and attachment, and the circuitry for panic, for the raw grief of being separated from the one you are bonded to, sits far down in the ancient core of the brain. The part we share with dogs, with cats, with horses, with every mammal that has ever drawn breath. The hardware of love and the hardware of heartbreak are not clever human additions bolted on at the top. They are old and they are shared, and your dog is running the very same machinery. The same chemistry that tightens your throat when someone you love walks out the door is firing in its own key in the animal that watches you leave. We did not invent love from nothing and then hand our pets a thin, simplified copy of it. It was already down there, deep and ancient, in the shared basement of every mammal brain, hundreds of thousands of years before there was a single human around to give it a name. Your dog did not learn how to love you. It was always able to. It was simply waiting its whole life for someone worth doing it to. And the primatologist Franz de Waal gave a name to the mistake of ignoring all of that. He called it anthropodenial. We all know anthropomorphism, the error of dressing an animal up in human feelings it does not have. But de Waal's point cuts the other way. Looking at an animal with the same brain chemistry as you, the same bonding hormones, the same visible grief when you walk out the door, and insisting, on principle, that there is simply nobody in there, is not the careful, rigorous, scientific position. It is just denial in a lab coat. So, do animals know when you love them? We may never be able to prove the feeling itself, but we can prove all of this. Your dog's body loves you back with the exact chemical your own mother once used on you. Its brain throws a private celebration for your smell in an empty room. Your cat trusts you in a language you never even knew it was speaking. And the parts of them that bond and break and wait by the door are the very same ancient parts of you that do all three. You tell the people you love with words. Your animal never had any, so it tells you in the only ways it was ever given, with a chemical loop running in its blood, with a reward center that lights for your smell in an empty room, with a door it will throw its whole body against to reach you, with a small muscle it grew over thousands of years for the apparent single purpose of aiming a soft look straight at your face, with a slow, deliberate blink from clear across a room. It has been saying it at the top of its lungs, in every language it owns, for the entire time you have known it. You were just quietly waiting on words that were never once coming. So tonight, when your dog lays its heavy head on your knee, or your cat finds the exact center of your chest and slowly closes its eyes, or you say one small name into a quiet room and a face you love lifts up to meet you, remember what it actually is. It is not a trick of training or a reflex chasing food. It is the oldest yes in biology, running quietly between two animals who were never supposed to understand each other and who somehow, against every single odd, learned how. It cannot tell you that it loves you. It was never able to, and it never will be. It just quietly built its entire day around the sound of you coming home and waited by the door and hoped, in whatever way a dog can hope, that you would. The question was never really whether your animal knows that you love it. It has been telling you in every language it has since the day you brought it home. The only question left, the only one that was ever really yours to answer, is whether you are worth the way it already does.